All right, fellas, let's be honest for a second. Women will never just come out and say, I'm picturing you naked right now. That's not how they work. But their body, their actions, those give them away every single time. Because here's the truth. Attraction isn't verbal, it's subconscious. It's the way she lingers when she looks at you. The way her body fidgets, reacts, betrays her thoughts before she can even process them. And the problem? Most men miss these signs. They assume a woman will just make the first move, or that she'll spell it out in neon letters. She won't. But if you know what to look for, you'll never be left guessing again. Today, we're breaking down the 7 biggest hints a woman gives when she's fantasizing about you. Some are subtle, some are so obvious you'll wonder how you ever missed them. But once you see them, you'll never unsee them again. Let's get into it. Hint number 7. Lingering eye contact and head tilt. It starts with the eyes. Always. A woman doesn't hold deep, lingering eye contact unless she feels something. It's not just politeness, not some random coincidence. This is primal. When a woman is fantasizing about you, her gaze locks in just a second too long. Her pupils dilate, her expression softens, and here's the big one. She tilts her head ever so slightly. That tilt? That's her body exposing her neck, one of the most vulnerable, intimate parts of her body. It's a subconscious way of saying, I'm open to you. I want to feel this. And it's not just about looking, it's about how she looks. If her lips part slightly while she's holding that gaze, if she blinks slower like she's absorbing you, she's feeling something. And if she glances at your lips while you're talking, that's not random. That's her brain flashing an image, one where her lips are on yours. Now here's where most guys miss out. If you look away too soon, the moment is lost. But if you hold it for just a second longer, just enough to create that slow burn tension, she won't be able to stop thinking about you. If she looks away but then glances back, game over. That's her checking to see if you're still locked in. That's her giving you an invitation. Hint number 6. Licking her lips or running her tongue along her teeth. This one, straight up biology. When a woman is turned on, her lips get drier. Why? Because her body is shifting blood flow, preparing for something more intense. Her mouth becomes more sensitive, her lips plumper, and without even realizing it, she moistens them. A slow lip lick, a subtle bite on the lower lip, or even running her tongue along her front teeth. It's never just a casual movement. It's a tell. Think about it. Why do women instinctively put on lipstick before a date? Why do red lips drive men crazy? Because the lips are one of the most erogenous zones on the body. When a woman licks or bites them while looking at you, it's like a neon sign flashing. She's imagining something. Now let's put this in a real-world scenario. You're mid-conversation, maybe teasing her a little, and she pauses, just for a second, to drag her bottom lip between her teeth. Then she releases it, slow. That's not just a habit. That's tension building. That's her mind going there. And here's the real test. If she does this while keeping eye contact, if her voice gets just a little softer afterward, you are all over her thoughts in that moment. Hint number 5. Deep breaths and slow, noticeable chest movements. Attraction isn't just mental, it's physical. You ever notice how, when a woman gets excited, her breathing changes? Slower, deeper, more noticeable? That's not something she's controlling. That's her nervous system reacting to desire. When a woman is turned on, her body needs more oxygen. Her chest rises and falls in a way that's just a little more exaggerated than normal. And if she exhales slowly after laughing, if she takes a deep breath in before answering you, that's her body responding. Picture this. You're standing close, maybe in a dimly lit bar, and she suddenly inhales deeper than usual, her chest lifting slightly more than normal. You didn't say anything shocking. There's no reason for it. That's just her body reacting, unconsciously pulling you in. And here's the part most men overlook. Women know how this looks. They know when their breathing is drawing attention. If she subtly shifts so you notice her movements more, if she straightens her back just enough to emphasize it, that's intentional. That's her creating an opening. If you catch this happening, slow the moment down. Lean in slightly, lower your voice, match her energy. If she starts mirroring your breath, that's desire syncing up in real time. Hint number 4, biting her fingers or nails in a playful way. Most men completely miss this one, and that's exactly why it's one of the strongest tells. When a woman lightly bites her fingers, plays with her nails, or even presses a fingertip to her lips while looking at you, it's not just some innocent habit. It's a micro-seduction. This is all about subconscious tension release. Her body is building energy and she needs an outlet. So she fidgets, bites, touches, without even realizing she's doing it. It's sensual, it's feminine, and it's one of the clearest physical signs that she's feeling a pull toward you. Picture this. You're across from her, and as you're talking, she slowly presses her fingertip against her lower lip. Maybe she lightly bites it, then lets go. It's a tiny movement, but it's loaded, because lips and fingers, they're some of the most sensitive erogenous areas on the body. And when she touches them while looking at you, that's her mind translating thoughts into physical action. Here's where it gets even more interesting. If she does this while laughing at something you said, if she bites her nail while listening intently, that's not just attraction, that's anticipation. That's her body mimicking an act of seduction, testing the waters, sending you a signal that most men never catch. And if she does it more than once, if her hands keep drifting back to her mouth, especially when you're holding eye contact, that's her body practically confessing where her thoughts are going. And that's just the buildup. These first 4 signs are subtle but powerful. But the next 3? That's when fantasy starts turning into action. The moment she starts adjusting her clothes, dropping suggestive comments, or flat out staring at your body, that's when you know, for a fact, she's picturing exactly what you'd look like without anything on. And hint number 1, that's the sign most guys completely miss, but it's the biggest giveaway of all. Stay tuned. Hint number 3, adjusting or smoothing her clothing, especially near her hips or neckline. When a woman suddenly becomes hyper-aware of her own body, something is happening. She could have been perfectly comfortable in her outfit all day, but the moment she's in front of a man she's attracted to, she starts fidgeting, adjusting, fixing things that don't really need fixing. She smooths the fabric over her hips, tugs at the hem of her dress, or subtly pulls at the neckline of her top. If she's wearing a jacket, she might shift it off one shoulder just a little, exposing more skin, making sure you notice. And the key detail? She does this while looking at you. Why does this happen? Because when attraction spikes, the body sends signals. Skin gets more sensitive, blood flow increases, and suddenly, without even realizing it, she's adjusting her clothes to both draw your attention and make herself feel sexier in your presence. It's part nervous energy, part instinct. Picture this. You're sitting next to her, deep in conversation, and out of nowhere, she pulls at the strap of her top, fixing it in place. Or she runs her hands down her thighs, smoothing her dress, even though there's nothing wrong with it. That's not random. That's her mind translating attraction into movement. And here's the real giveaway. If she adjusts something, makes eye contact with you and smirks, that's her watching to see if you noticed. And trust me, she wants you to notice. Hint number 2, playful, suggestive comments and double entendres. Attraction is one thing, flirtation is another. But when a woman starts playing with her words, testing the waters with double meanings, that's when you know, her mind is already there. Women don't just come out and say what they're thinking. Instead, they imply, they tease, they drop little verbal cues to see if you'll pick up on them. It's their way of gauging how far they can push things without saying too much. Maybe she jokes about how strong your hands must be, or she smirks and says something like, "I bet you get into a lot of trouble, don't you?" But in a tone that makes it very clear she's not talking about actual trouble. Here's the key. If she's making any kind of playful, slightly suggestive remark while holding eye contact, she's not just flirting, she's testing. She wants to see if you'll match her energy, if you'll pick up what she's putting down. And if you hesitate, if you don't push it back even a little, the moment fades. But if you tease her right back, if you hold the tension, let the silence linger for just a second longer than normal before answering, that's when things shift. That's when she realizes you know exactly what's happening. And that's exactly what she wants. Hint number 1. Staring at your body, especially your arms, chest, or hands. This is the final giveaway, the moment when her mind completely betrays her. Because women aren't obvious about checking a man out. They're subtle. They do it in flickers, stolen glances, little movements of the eyes that most guys never even notice. But if she's attracted to you, if she's imagining something, she will look, not at your face, not at your shoes, at you. Your forearms if you've rolled up your sleeves, your chest if your shirt fits just right, your hands if she's thinking about what they might feel like on her body. And here's how you know for sure. She looks, then quickly looks away the moment you catch her, because deep down she knows she got caught. But she also knows you saw it. And that little moment? That's when the tension is at its peak. So what do? You let the silence linger. You smirk, just a little, and you watch her reaction. If she smiles, looks away, maybe even bites her lip, that's it. That's her confession, without saying a single word. Fellas, these aren't just coincidences. These are hardwired attraction signals. And if you're seeing more than one, she's waiting for you to make the next move. So, what are you gonna do? Drop a comment below if you've ever noticed these signs before. How many have you caught in real time? And if you want more breakdowns on dating psychology, hit that like button, subscribe, and check out our next video, because we're about to take your game to the next level. Until next time, pay attention, make your move, and own the moment.